Okay, bouncing streamlines, indirect signals of panels is all calculated and modified, guys. I just showed you exactly how you control your speed lines, especially with your body fraction communication sending directions. We have to get our bodies in control. I just showed you exactly what you can do on your iPads, how it can be in a normal speed, and then all of a sudden you just put your finger there and it's going fast. So it's in direct location of space and time, guys. Balancing out the mind and navigation puts everything in provision. Balancing everything in your heart line is balancing everything through time setting, which is your alter state location, your settings, all through consciousness. Now, your soul is direct locations, everything through light communication, right? Connection is all levels of consciousness, where your connection is all lines of settings to your avatar, which is the GOD, the geometric operation of design. But your body is now catching up. As of today, we're going to be in 72, okay, stargates of heaven. Imagine that. 72 stargates of heaven. Whoa. So, in that provision location, you guys are already in the future of the now. But you're coming back to that position location of provision. Regeneration line stream location of all of yourselves comes back into locations of REM cycles. No more lucid dreams. All visionary cortex calculation stream locations. Your frame line centers change position location of trunk lines. Now everything is in the now. This is the process where the body has to catch up. The clocking system has to be in a certain line of communication. The mind navigation has to understand the console. The console has to understand not just the navigation, but has to understand all calculation of navigation settings. How to understand it through its flight command set locations. Now, in directing line communication, remember I was saying that we had a quiz line in the keyboards to understand all calculations into Q. What is Q? What is W? What is E? What is R? What is T? What is Y? What is U? What is I? What is O? What is P? Right? Quantum, width, energy, relay, teleportation, Y line centers, unification, intelligence, operation, perception. Without even thinking. Without even thinking. Muscle memory is everything to the mind and navigation location settings. Your framing centers are now high rising. So I'm thinking, so if I'm on a factor calculation streamline in direct locations with formulas of equation setting, I have to resurface, retract, redivision, and relocate. Now, what does that mean to its applications? But the brain understands these things through its interception. It sees everything through its applications. Now, when it's looking at things, it's looking through its emotion. But it knows exactly what it needs to be a motion of a track location. Right? When you look at a wall, you're not going to get emotional. Right? Especially if you've seen it already. But when you go to another place, you're getting emotional because it's a different place, different energy, different frequency, different vibration, different harmonics, different space, different dimension, different time. Okay, imagine that. You're so used to looking at your wall, you don't need to add emotion because there's motion already there in attraction. Balancing these things out is extremely powerful when you come into the space in between set locations. So I just want you to understand how this all works in provision. Okay, how you can speed up anomalies just by touching an iPad, the clocking. So that keeps you in balance, knowing exactly how fast you're going, how fast you're moving. Okay? So that's an indication of balance through your iPad, how fast you're going in the mind. Changes realities. Right? So you're saying to yourself, if that iPad is going fast as I think it is, and it's already in that location, there is no thinking process. It's already doing what it needs to do because it's already done in this equation. Right? So you're walking this fast, you're talking this fast, you're moving here, you're moving there, you're going downstairs, you're eating this fast, you're drinking this fast. That's exactly what it is. So the iPad is a confirmation. See how it comes into balance position locations all through an iPad where I actually communicate to that set location what it is through provision? That's the balance. Because everything that you see changes its reality of what you can't see. And when you start to see things that you can't see, it opens up the holographic system of you inside location. Okay, now just get a basic ground line setting. Okay, in that position locations, starting here. Okay, this is a body of consciousness. Everything and everywhere knows exactly what it's doing in the vision. It's set for you to understand how to use it. Now, understanding how to use it is all tracked to its communication of balance and sideline connections, balancing your chakra systems, understanding you through allocation, trying to understand how to motivate your system, keeping your settings inside locations, just self-communication, right? Getting in at set locations, especially with immortals, intermittent gods, and galactic 101s, so wherever you are, line communications, communicate with your body. Okay, communicate with zero. What is zero? Right, we talked about that before. It's your crop circle. Where's the crop circle line communication and zero line setting? Right, I didn't do that, did it on its own. Response back with you, right? And then it responds back with you inside. So you have to control that or it's a glitch. That's a Mandela effect. Now the open sequence of the reality is changing the position, location, and directions now, space and time. Space and time is coming out now to your realities, which affects everything inside location of your clockings, the speed location. Your cells are remodifying. So if you understand that and you understand the program, then you have a better track locations how to control your chakra system. Your chakra system is nothing but a connection to your settings. It's a vessel of communication. It's a feeding source. Your body is a vessel of communication, of data through your receivers. Okay, you're receiving information. Data communication line, business location, operator line, allocation, infinity line, communication settings, back and track line, communications general. Where's that coming from? My cells. How many cells? 45 million, all in triangulation. Now, we have to understand how to get 45 million cells in a triangulation interface. You can't communicate with one at a time because they're moving too fast. You got to slow down your space. So it's linear this. And so instead of 60 seconds, you have 30 seconds now. 30 seconds goes into 20 seconds. 20 goes into 10. 10 goes into 5. 5 goes into 1. 1 second. Anything negative line interference, you created it through manifestation of abundance. And that's what we're coming into. Okay? Your bodies are coming back in traction. Modification. All right. Setting the tone. Altimetric scales is a balanced position track communications, right? Basic understanding. This is a scale that you have to keep balance with. It's a scale, right? That's all it is. But understanding you through face recognition. Intelligence. Interesting. So, General, are you saying that if I go with line communication with 3 line signatures, all location system, my setting line interference in position of face recognition comes back to me? Okay, here. So, indirect signals, this is your phone. Okay, so we already seen it through a mirror. So it's a reflection of the mirror line setting on the other side line conditions. Everything is on the side. It's not on the other side. There never was an other side. Living to all timelines all at once is looking in a mirror, but you're not seeing a reflection of you. You're seeing the reflection of the future of the now of you looking in the mirror, which means there's no past, there's no present, and there's no future, just the now. So when you look in the mirror, it's not a reflection of you. It's you. You got to get balanced with that. So when you get in that line center, it gets you in position to higher level calculation. Higher level calculation. Higher level calculation. Okay. Then it goes into dimensional door settings. See, these are doors. Okay, it's allocations. It's very confusing all through the mind. All right. But you understand the face recognition that everybody's coming into line, right? So when I communicate the chakras, let's say I communicate with Fibonacci. Right away, I see a swirl. And I get a correlation setting in 3 lines. There's a triangulation reset position programs. 45 calculation of cells. All in graph lines, center line, position location, high position on track, communications, any directions. So in that communication, I communicate with 45 million cells in balance. All through triangulation, through double helix, a 3-3 location. See? Confirmation in. Yep, got confirmation, right? Response is everything. Action, reaction. Action, reaction. Response, response. Responsive. Reaction, action. Realignment, alignment. Restructure, structure. Okay? So getting into that puts you in a better program setting to really understand how to balance these things out in your side locations. Because now space and time is not just coming back, it's coming back into its reality of where it's supposed to be. Taking everybody out of the Mandela effect. Taking everybody out of the twilight zone. Taking everybody out of the density set locations. Taking everybody out in the conscious location of where they're supposed to be in position location system. Okay? Which is 50% location on the left and 50% location to the right, hemisphere locations. Left and right hemisphere line connection of clockings in your grounds, your airs, your waters, and your fires. And your plasma is its indication to its higher self that you set 2 communications into Mandela effect. In that communication, it's the no reflection line calculation setting, but only seeing yourself in your own reflection of the now. Mega, mega, mega pass. No Mandela effect. No butterfly effect. When you see a butterfly fly, and anything in an indication to a setting, all set location, it's butterfly, right? Goes this way, 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 goes that way. But it's going forward, guys. It's not moving back. You think it's going like this? What is it doing? It's creating a pattern. It's creating a design. It's creating communication. It's communicating with other butterflies. Mega, 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 mega pass. Okay? Butterfly communication line center and positional case of 3-track line communication line center, graph line interference of travel communication setting, all direct location, position, all levels, high center interference of travel. Done. Face. See the face? See the nose? See the chin? There's a face. There's the eye. Boom. That's what the butterfly cleave. Creation line setting is really to understand how to set position to all levels to expectation. That's what a butterfly does. That's why it comes a butterfly effect, one way or the other. But it's directing and redirecting, directing and redirecting. It's never going back. It's always moving forward. You just think it's going back. Everything you see outside is going forward, but it doesn't see its own reflection. It only sees its now. All right, instead of position location line interference, here's a mirror. Okay, this is you looking in the mirror. Okay, now how you see yourself in the mirror is all levels and units locations. That's you in the mirror, right? Communication. Right? Scanning position. Okay? So, and that's line connection center. In all interactive communication system, obviously you have to protect yourself, right? Because it is you in position, but you're protecting yourself, right? So understand that line interference is really understand the mirror actually is you in set location. So you're looking at you. So there's no mirror of you. You just think there's a mirror of you. Okay? So the mirror is actually the set line communication that sets all levels of separation, which is the mind. The mind has a connections of a Colossus line setting. Now it has a cerebral cortex string. Yeah, it's very trippy. So understand that communication. You are inside the mirror, looking outside. Mega pass. That's it. That's all it is. You're looking inside from out. So to let that go is to really understand your travel communication, your systems. Right? So you're here, you're here, you're here, and you're here. right? That's all it is. That's all it is. You're living inside the mirror, but there's no reflection. Okay? You are the reflection of space and time, which basically protects your system. Okay? All right. Welcome back, class. So I'm just showing you exactly what we're coming into. We're coming to remodification. Now, understanding the Mandela effect is actually understanding the butterfly, how it travels one way and another way. So it's really understanding how to direct and redirect. Direct and redirect. Direct and redirect. Direct and redirect. So everything direct and redirecting is bringing me forward, not back. Okay? Directing is going forward. Redirecting is fixing, but going forward. So really understand how you have to change the frame communication setting. So you guys are coming to line set location. Let's open all settings. 72. 2 blocks line center interference at 3 set position travels. 4 line communications in setting. Okay. So that indicates lines of 1, 2, 3, and 4 set locations. Okay. So we come into lines, panel communication, alpha, delta, theta, beta, and mega. Line communication graph lines, set position track lines. 4 generation lines over lines of 6. 6 position of box lines of triangulation, reset position programs. Direct and communication lines on high position of 1, 2, 3, 4, and set location of travel lines. Position locations, UFO, line communication setting, indirect location of system and travel calculations. Done by equation, right? It's all set up. 72 lines of stargates is coming in provision. Now, in that line calculation changes the stargate line streams. Direct signals and panel communication interference. Let's go in location setting, direct system location. All right. Channel streams, direct locations of panels. Opens up sequence lines of triangulation, 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 box. Triangulation of 3 lines. Set location of flux paths, position panels. Triangulation of reset locations. 1 line position location setting. All line center in position locations are diamond core. Phase recognition. Time sequence. Line center location flux capacitor. Flux capacitor, flux capacitor, flux capacitor, flux, 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 flux. Setting position track. Line cross, line rotation, surface lines of platform, in center direct location high setting, all levels of position locations of balance into your set position of 72 line setting a stream location. Done by equation. All right. Taking that out of track, I just wanted to show you what's happening with everything in line communications. All right. Try to understand the one signature line. So now you understand that you are living inside the mirror. So think of your line communication, everything that you see, you're living inside. You see your computer. You become the computer, you are the computer. So when you're looking, the computer is looking at you and you're looking at the computer. But when you understand, you're facing this way, looking outside. Okay, so that's what, when you're looking at the wall's looking at you. That's communication. That's the space in between. Once you get balance of that, you become the wall. And the wall, you look from inside out. Okay, that's the connections to a system when it comes into all levels of reflection. It's the reflection from inside of what you see outside. And that's what you guys are coming back to. Okay, causing a mirror effect takes you out of position location of panels. So it takes you out of the mirror in set locations. Out of the mirror, which causes all communications and confusion. Okay, so understanding that set locations, you have to go back in center of its operation. Once it gets to center line position locations, you travel out in line communications back where you're supposed to be, which is the future of the now. Okay, coming in position location of space and time comes into the sun in position of the moon and all track location setting of balance. Okay, all right. So now you understand the Mandela effect. Now you understand the refraction communication setting to everything that's application to your systems. It's all levels of channels to your line position location, how it comes into operation surface. All right. So now we're in 72 stargates, line calculation of box, triangulation of resets, triangulation calculation, position locations by indicates lines, equal line CPU line rotations, 24 line signatures, calculation 48 into 72. 72 line calculations, weighting the line center location of 144 and track location. Okay, done by equation. Forming this equation really sets line calculations to a system. So when you look at 1, how are you looking at 1? In position locations, you got to look at the left and you got to look at the right. It's the balance position. That's 1. Okay? 2 line signatures, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's 4. Okay? Same position location on the levels. So it's a corner, right? But that's 1. You have to see 1 on both sides. You can't just see 1 in the center because it positions your past, your presence, and your future and how you see yourself, perception. Center communication line center lines its open signal in position location, setting location, right? Understanding track location and future line rotation is direct location of your system through pass and setting, okay? Position locations, all levels of set location and track location of its intelligence. There's the intelligence. Eyes, there it is, okay? Intelligence is everywhere. Intelligence becomes everything. There's the neck, okay? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right? Now you understand. That's just 1. You're not seeing a framing 1. You're seeing the reflections of 3 of 1. What is that? Location, line, and position of track lines and highest interference, 15. Equal lines have 3 line settings of 1 line 0, 0. In position location of 24 clocking system. Hoo-ah. Oh my gosh. Boy, that makes a lot of sense. Now I'm understanding the clocking system when it comes into 24 line setting. All right, 24 equals line locations, comes into 15. 15 line calculation equal lines is 13. 13 communication lines at 14. 14 line finishes at 15. 15 comes in line setting. 15 equals line communications at 3100 line communication into square foot in set position travel calculations. Hoo-ah. Okay? You're obviously going to have to watch this back because the provisional location puts you out of reflection in those locations. Same with 2, right? 2, right? So in 2 line center, it's a little bit more complicated because it positions the attract to its calculation stream locations. So 2 is an indicated high interference of another 2 communication, right? And another communication setting. That's 2. Triangulation set location always has to be past, present, and future. There's the intelligence. Okay? Bingo. So now you understand that. Same with 3. You see where I'm going with this? Taking you guys out of the Mandela, taking you out of location of reflection, and seeing yourself, all levels of center operation, in all ways and forms. Not just looking this way, this way, this way, up or down or back. It's all away, all line rotation and center position. And all calculation of the system, all ways and forms. They're all rotation surface of an atom. Okay? All right. Center locations of 3. 3, 3. Triangulation. There's the intelligence. Okay? Everything is balanced. Everything has to be balanced. So when you look at things, you're not seeing it provisional locations of 1. You're seeing a position of past, present, and future. You understand the past, the present, and the future always have to be in sync. And when you're looking at things, you're always looking at everything that you need to understand to all calculation and setting, all track locations all at once. Okay? So you're always going to see it in rotation and circulation. Okay? All right. So in that provisional locations, we take the 72 string lines, box line rotation, triangulation, high center interference. Now your clock line calculation is 24. Putting line interference, line calculation, setting direct system in position of track lines. Now working on your 72 line stream, set position of 2 line, operation surface, and 2 position. Okay? So in that correlation high interference, 7 becomes a 4 line, and 7 becomes the 3 line. Okay? Flux pass communication stream. Direct line calculation setting. Now star portal, stargate, star command sets position location of seed pod. Seed pod tracks line condition with diamond core sets position traction. Putting the location line interference, stargate's line calculation setting to its heaven. Opens up the gates and high position of travel. Now, getting that communication, this travels lines of 4 signature streams in set location of travel lines. Okay? Putting this location levels of diamond core, shift this line calculation lines at 2 line positions of operation. Putting lines of circle line in a Fibonacci line swirl and 3 set location of travel lines in operation surface and triangulation. Okay, done by equation. So trying to understand how this all works, I just really want you to understand that you are the mirror, which is no reflection, because you're inside of everything. So when you're looking at everything through perception, it's looking at you first, but then you realize, oh my gosh, I'm actually the wall looking from inside out. No Mandela effect. The Mandela effect is you looking at the wall and not responding to what the wall is. That's a paradox. That's quantum interference. That's quantum entanglement. Mega pass, right? So the more you understand is you're not just seeing here, you're not just seeing here, you're seeing all around in a figure 8 rotation. That's what life is. This is all life. This is life right now. Figure 8. That's all it is. Just a figure 8 motion. That's all it is. Okay, you can change position locations. Okay, so we all have to understand how this all works. Infinity cycles high set location to a system. Track is correlation setting, indirect system. All levels of your chakras and line rotation positions to a system. Track calculation lines, flywheel, and flywheel. Crop circle, balance line, calculation high interference, another Fibonacci line swirl, set special location line, systems of attraction. Put special location at 3. 3 creates what? 2 portals of communication of setting and attraction. Okay? Setting one position to another position, setting one position to another position. Crossing stream. Indirect locations. Okay? So now you understand why it's so important to have the chakra system inside you, because everything you're looking at through perception, you're looking from inside out of everything. You become all these things. So you connect first, try to understand you through body, through the mind, the heart, and the soul, and then you merge. Okay? So your body becomes consciousness. And once your body becomes consciousness, the avatar changes the set location of its design through God to a computer. And you use the sim to navigate where you want to go. Inside a computer, inside the wall, inside your mind, travel and set location without seeing anything through a reflection. Okay? Because the mirror of you is the reflection. But this is the kicker. There's no reflection because you're living inside of everything in the mind setting. So we don't want to get confused that set locations, right? 1 provision lines, 2 track location. 3 settings, high setting, okay? 4 lines in line interference and set locations, right? So 4 equals lines of 3, equal lines of 7 location. Now, in the indicated high interference, 7 lines of track location, 777, bracket communications, 7 tracks, 7 divisions, 7 rotations, 7 surface. Now, in that line communication setting, you bring in the sun, you bring in the moon, correlate the panels and line rotation. Okay. Systematically calculation line interference. You always work in the 7 bodies of water, equal line connected to the box, triangulation line center interference. You calculation of Fibonacci one way, and another line communication this way, and one position location this way, and line calculation this way, and set locations in this way, and 3 triangulation set location of ground lines in that line position location operation. Okay. Triangulation to reset position of programs, flux capacitor, triangulation high line interference into your pyramid set location of travel, directing communication, the elixir, cosmic flame, and serpent fire, direct locations. Now, this indicates line center locations comes into the center line of the communication line that puts you into your flywheel, and all calculations to its allocated lines of space and time. Okay? Directs the panels, communication lines, and high center interference, putting you guys in a 72 position. Operate the service line calculation setting, travel calculation lines, a 3-line rotation surface into 4, into 5, into 6, and a 7, into 8 line rotation. Look how powerful that is. Look how powerful that is. Setting communication line interference, we bring the sun again, and we cross line setting in direct location to a dome that opens up its position of traction. Look how powerful that is, guys. Amazing set position travels. Direct communication lines, high center interference. We open the eye line center, high interference. There's the intelligent location of setting. Boom. There's the intelligence. See? Boom. Everything's a face recognition setting. Okay. It's balancing these things out. Now we take the 7 line and we take the box line rotations, underscore line, underscore triangulation, reset position programs at the top position. See that? Pi line connections. Travel position location on the levels. Now we change the diamond core, shift the lines anomalies, put a position on north in the center, south at the top, east in the west line calculation setting, south at the bottom. Sets position of track lines, crosses stream location, high center interference, medical ball line interference, train communication of data line, stream locations on all levels, open all triangulation, high center of TV reception, position of travels, and position of travel location. All right, done my equation. Now set up, see the computer. 72 computer line frame line to face direction of time sequence, now set position of programs, directing location of your system. Pattern communication lines of 0, 0, 0, 3 line communication triangulation, reset position programs. Calculation high interference, diamond core line center location of setting. Calculation high interference, crosses stream location of 2 set position operation. Communication line interference, flywheel, direct locations, all settings of channels. Film strips, position location, all levels, and set location to 24,000 line stream location. Done by equation. All right. That's going to surface out. Gone, but still there. So, know exactly what's going on provision is to understand the cycles and high side location of your systems. All right. Okay, Quartz, Gaia, Danielle, Gypsy, Heather, Pendle, Chris. Obviously, you guys are going to have Zoom after this because you have a lot of questions. I know that. Set a position of travel lines, high center interference, all direct location system, Heather line communication of balance lines, all levels of Vega. So there's a reason why you guys have title defense, right? Title defense gives you everything through your identity line strings. Now, the location of interference, 72 line tracks, you get a 24 line signal. So 24 lines equals 0, 0, 0, 3 line communications, 4 line divisions, and 5 line connections. Now, it's understanding how to use the 24 signature in a 2 line panel, puts position location of Pluto, and redirect signals location setting. Track to its communication levels, 3 line signature locations on levels of Jupiter, and 2 line track locations into 4 line track location of graph line screens. Calculation high interference in Mercury lines its correlation setting a panel position location of travel lines in 1 signature, 2 lines, and 3 line rotations, and a graph line interference of 2 reception line calculation setting a ground line operation and service position of traction. All right. Video screen line rotation interference at 24,000 signature patterns into 7 lines and 5 lines and 12 line interference. Calculate and modify 12 line signatures, 12 line division locations, and 12 line calculation. 3 line position locations, all lines interference triangulation. Done by equation. All right, complicated stuff. Okay, so working with panels puts everybody in provision. So we get a 24 line setting, H line center. Okay. Now the H line center works in position location of track lines inside position location operation. Center line communications into pi, direction of time sequence. Dimension line sail operates a signal line interference of sun. Sun operates at high location, sending position of 2 atoms into 3 line communications into 4 line channels in 3 line positions to its operation. So we take the 2 lines, let's say 2, 4, and 3 indicates line centers of 2, 2, 2, 2. Balance position of center lines in Pluto and line rotation surface and triangulation. The direct line communication of panel lines. Now this opens all sequence. 2 panels lines, line interference, crisscross line and rotations, balance position of travel lines, and 4 lines, metric strings, balance lines of 2, 2, 2 in triangulation. Okay? Very complicated stuff. Done by equation. We're going to wait on signal because Monday's coming in track locations. Putting direct signals is really understand the platitude line interference. Now this comes into your highway communication setting directions. All right. So I'll be in telepathy cycles. Yep. It's fine, Jips. So 1 signal line rotations, 2 panels operation. All right. So we've got a 0 ground, 0 line communication, and 0 programs. Okay. Indicate high line interference as travel calculation. Direct line calculations lines of 0 lines, surface position travel calculation. Directing communication is all levels of signals of 2 panels. Now this puts position location in your diamond core line. There it is. Boom. Sending track lines, 2 panels of position traction. Now in that line calculation setting, we have a center line, 3 indicate line interference of 3 UFOs. Crossing string, scan. Crossing string, scan. Crossing string, scan. Done. Intelligence, see? Bring communications, I-line, bring communications, I-line. There's the intelligence. Boom! Everything is a face of recognition of travel calculations. Right? 72 panels, line signature, line string, crosses, line rotations. Graph line position location and 3-line rotation surface. High calculation line setting, crosses, line position location, high center interference, in travel calculation setting, indirect signal. That puts a box line frame in set position. Box line frame changes position of panels. This is where it comes into plateau communication setting of directions. Panel communication comes in this line calculation setting to a new line division of set locations. Okay, that makes sense. Very complicated stuff. But knowing exactly how this is all set up, guys, is really understand how to use your connection your data. Combine your box lines of your cubicle squares in line position your data cubes, electrical calculation lines of Fibonacci line swirls and direct signal to position location of panels and set locations. Okay, done by equation. That's going to be weighted on signal. Now, getting direct signals is to understand how to use the panels of wavings, waving communication of paradox, paradigm, polar shift, working on 3-line settings, right? So in position location, the actual paradox becomes 3 waving lines, center line interference equals lines is future, equal line calculations of the now. The position of the present becomes the past, and the position of the future becomes the present locations into the past position and set locations. Travel position lines, a travel line interference into dimensional sail, puts everything in center in position location, yin and yang. Done. Center calculation, high interference. Changing the paradox line, center interference to center communications. This opens up all the optimal setting locations up. OPT equals lines of triangulation reset positions. Triangulation lines of 2 panels, line string. Calculation high interference, sun comes in the opposite line stream location of setting and direct signal to operation. Now, in that operation, the triangulation resets position locations, opens up the pyramid line stream location in projection to setting. Projection line calculation setting, we take the elixir. In line communications, we take the cosmic flame, we change the cosmic fire, and line calculation of the serpent flame, and the serpent fire communication of center of operation, done by equation. So the operation line stream sets position location of travels. This morphs the correlation setting and direct signal to location of satellites and reposition location of design as a location. Mega path. This opts the system. Operation default lines of 24 correlation setting in position locations, copy, paste, calculations emblem, calculations high interference embedded in position of travel lines, interpretation. Tango's tango, foxtrot location, done by equation, all right? That's going to wait on signal. So we have 3 panel communication setting and redirections. Program location settings, putting everything back in a paradigm shift line, string location setting. This one puts all communication in pyramid lines. Rotates surf location and side position operation, right? Center line communications is a 3-line rotation surface. Now, comes in the sun, comes in the moon, and line rotations in a half-line circle. Direct locations, high position of travel lines, direct signal locations in a walking surface. Center line and position location is operation to its setting of operation locations. Now, in that channel line communication comes in a rainbow graph line into 72 stargates, not just the heaven line string lines, but a security panel and position of travel. Okay. Now, and that indicates line settings. Now we have 3 waving panels in position location of track. Now we come into water line containment line rotations into pi position of travel lines. There's the pyramid, there's the rainbow, there's the walkway, there's the dimension line surface, the sun and the moon, and track locations. Setting direct lines, coloration line setting, the center of communications, 2 panels, line interference. Color the line communication dimensional. Delta heading communication of foxtrot. Serial communication levels, Oscar November. November line interference and your particle line interference is changing position of track lines into position location modifications of the levels, the 2 signals of high position. Calculation modification line interference puts rainbow graph streams, direct line position location, all levels. 1 indicates lines of pi, and center position location coloration line stream opens all signals and panda communication setting to all signals, and line communication graph lines and high center interference of walkway surface location. Done by equation. Toss it up. Okay. Graphing streams and line interference, gone but still there. Right? We still have 3-track location setting. Bracket communication interference, 72 line interference. 7 comes lines of 4, 2 becomes lines of 3, and 8 becomes center. Okay? So really understand how this is all set up is really understand how to see yourself in all track locations of balance. The set locations. All right? Now, in that position locations and high setting, you really have to understand how to echo lines of 8, echo lines of 8, echo lines of 8, and echo lines of 8 in the set position operation service. Now, a triangulation reset program sets position location and traction. Okay. Now, the swivel line sets in the middle of set location of 7 lines of channel string locations. Now, direct location of 2 brackets of 2 8s, 2 brackets of 2 8s, space position location of time, and center line conditions. Now, this opens all lines. We travel the 8 lines of 2 lines, 8 lines of 4 lines, 8 lines of 6 lines, and 8 lines of 8 lines, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay? Travel communications, all levels, into a 24 line of a rainbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 20, 24 set locations. Okay? Now, we bring down the graph line setting, T reception line string locations. Direct communication crossing lines, timestamp. There's the line communication setting. Constant calculation line interference is a water containment line position locations into location grid. Sets position of track lines and 3 line communication setting to higher levels of travel and set location. Okay? Done by equation. All right? So the metric stream and the Stargate portals and star maps is high position location to all levels. Setting coordinates and settings and track lines. We wait on signal. So now we're in a 4 signature string locations waiting on signal. Putting position location into vibration. Equals lines of energy. Okay. Equal lines of Vega. Vega lines cross lines. Compute system. Line connection CPU. Probe locations lines. Unifications. Constant calculation of consciousness. Is that direction. Now, in that line calculation, there it is. There's the intelligence. Setting track locations disappears. Rotates the surface. High calculation of galaxy line, shift line, cross line, highest interference. Now, in that communication, the line strips down in 1 line signature. Okay? Finds the balance line interference and comes in position location to its scale, and 2 position locations of the panels and line connection. Now, directing communication the crosses line, string location, and 3 line rotation. Communication of graph lines, routers and routers, line connection to the 3 platforms and set position location is setting and track location. Okay? Now, center line communications in all levels. This is where we come into the Academy. Asgard, calculation string location of setting. Done by equation. Toss it up. Platform communication line centers, putting position location of pi, indicates position of travel lines. In a 24 line settings and high position location is operation surface and all calculation setting, indirect signal to its set position to its alpha, delta, theta, beta, omega, and line communication of travel and set position of operation. Okay, done by equation. Toss it up. Scale line division is now in set position of balance. Okay, look how powerful it is. It's amazing how you set these line locations. Now, coming into the flywheel, 8 central line communication. Look at this. Flywheel rotators, calculation highest interference. It's all track to its coordinate setting and balance positions back and center of operation. Mega pass. 5 signature lines waiting on signal. We'll set that line communications in program setting. Repositions of value. Now, I know, Heather, this looks amazing, doesn't it? So setting track to its communication setting is all about understanding how to put your line calculation setting to 24 signatures. 3 lines of zeros. Okay, position location of 3 lines. So add 2 lines of 2 line zeros and position locations of 4 line zeros. You split it in between. Okay. The reason why you split it in between is because the space anomaly is coming in track location in percentage of set location. Okay. Equal line calculation is 100%. Okay. Spiritual line. Sets locations back in line centers. Paradox line interference into all calculations to 1% positions of pi. Down by equation. So we're 100 spiritual line calculation setting into vibration channels. Now the 24 line cross is the underlying calculation string locations. Now putting the false lines of 3 line connections in set position operation. Scan settings, high calculation to a system. Opens all track communication of its dimensional line, delta, alpha, delta, theta, beta, and omega. Okay, that my equation. All right, that signals out. Now, once you get into a plateau, you really have to understand how to really get in position to your settings, how to balance these things out. Okay, come into your data. Your cubicle system, you allocate line settings, your time sequence, time location, your setting. Cubicle line stream interference. Now, the sum locations, you're in the center. This is you in position, right? So it's all understanding the position of travel lines and two line signatures. Okay, calculation sun into moon line is surface location of travel lines and projection. Okay, so remember, the sun always comes in position of travel lines. So you change the cubicle line stream into a walkway surface, okay, into a skyline, a Skynet grid line centers, two panels, position locations of two panel position of travel. Calculation one strip, one location center of operation. Now, triangulation reset programs and a diamond core shift line string location. Position of travel lines and magnetic highway of information panel and set position of operation. Travels lines and its signature lines and a crop circle line calculation setting into its position location as center communication. Now, in that line calculation setting, we cross the path. Cross the path and three line communication of 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 line connection. Travel direct line center interference, sun comes in, protects position locations, all levels in high calculation. Boom. Done by equation. Very complicated stuff. Okay? But knowing exactly the walkway surface, how it panels its correlation setting of its direct system, putting everything in this center line communication. Changes all levels of the paradox, the polar shifts, the polarity shifts, and the pulsars. Now, the compulsory line setting has attracted its communication, waiting on signal. In other words, 6 graph line settings and 2 positions of measure. Sets position location in a V line. Okay. V lines opens all signal into position of 3 panels of set location of 0. Now, correlation center lines and high position location of 3 line communication of line signatures. Direct line conditions of 3 lines, a circle line interference of 3 atmospheres. Direct location high interference of space line and position of time sequence. Done by equation. The metric correlation setting, all travel calculations into a rectangle surface. Travel communication setting, direct signal to its intelligence as a location setting and position location operation. There it is, done by equation. So we got the volume correlations and calculation. Velocity line settings in 2 positions. Travel calculation line interference into crossing line center locations at 2 position locations. And we position on the centers of 4 and 3 equals lines of 7 in center position operation. Done by equation. So the bodies of waters, the track location line setting is now in 72. 72 lines equal lines of 24. Equals lines of 3 0 line communications, sets position locations. Setting track to its correlation setting of 3 lines and direct signal position location. Right? Graph line streams in 2 panels and 3 line surface. Okay? Pattern communication line directions. Okay? We shift down cross line stream locations into crop circle line directions. Opens all communication as 72 line swirls and line center interference in all set position locations in 3 lines and 4 lines and 3 line and calculation setting, putting 7 positions of 5, 5 positions of 12, 12 lines of 24, and set line conditions of 24,000 line set locations and a heart direction of time sequence, all panel communication setting, and all direct location system, and all track location. Done by equation. Right? Mother Earth. Mother Earth. Okay, boom, done. Right? She's done. She's finished. She's in a 72 line stream. Okay. Waiting on signal for that line. So that's 7 line tracks. So we got 7 line position locations, above line rotation. Okay, waiting on a signal. All right. Getting track to its communication setting and all of, I know Heather's going, glad that's done. Getting in that line interference is all about understanding the center communications, so the levels of operation, crossing streams, line calculation setting into a diamond core line shift. Now, position location near 0 lines and graph location setting is about resurfacing your triangulation reset programs to your Mother Earth. Position locations are levels in your position location in the space line. direct application of line center interference and solar direct application system into your flywheel and redirect signals at all communication panels of operation surface. Truncated high center interference travels calculation of 3-line rotations, calculation line interference locations in the 4-line setting. Okay, putting position locations in a 7-line rotation, right? Triangulation reset position location setting, calculation lines of surface, routers and routers lines in the moon, surface location setting, downshift cross location of setting. Okay, done by equation. Surface correlation settings, 4 lines of high center. So 7 comes in as center lines of an orb. Center line communication comes in an orb. Center position location comes in an orb. And center line condition and crop circle comes in an orb, or 4 set locations of setting. Calculation lines of triangulation resets comes in a pyramid line set location of center lines of communication to position the program site location of your system. Okay? Now the communication line center, yes, exactly what it is, Heather. Yeah, sending the converter. Rotate sets high center interference in the flywheel. Now the flywheel repositions this program into its paradigm, polar shift, and all calculation of its paradigm. Setting shift lines of 3-line set location high center interference, infinity 8-line rotations in 3 set locations, and high channel line calculation setting in 72 waveline cycles into all calculation setting interference into heavens on earth in subsystem travel. Done by equation. It's all set up. It's done. Okay. So we're going to wait on signal because that comes into 8. Now, infinity 8 lines is rotation surface. There's a very powerful video when you come in this line calculation, this line calculations, this line calculations, and this line calculation creates a planet. That's it. Using infinity lines, but you have to understand the routers and routers to its position location of its dome. Tracks its correlation setting ground lines, shift position across line stream locations, high setting, circle line interference and travel calculation setting, opens all signals on line communication to a system. Okay? Know exactly how to use the flywheel and redirect centers and high line rotations to your stargates, your star panels, star positions, star maps, and line calculation setting in 8-line surface and set location of travel. Now, in that direct location comes into the sun, backs into the moon, line center interference, and projects its location setting and directions. That equation. Yeah? Okay, so that's going to wait line communications. So in set location line interference, the setting line calculation setting, right? Coming to that correlation setting direct locations. So in that position locations, bracket communication line center interference in line communications. All right, so we got the hanger communication in 1-line cycle, sets position of track. Okay, and then we have a bracket through a 0-line rotation, sets position of travel lines, correlations of 0, position location of 0, 0, and 3-line connections. Now, in that calculations, the square roots and line position crosses string into box line setting. Indirect applications comes into the sun, but the sun only stays in a certain line of communication, a set position of traction. Open line calculation setting crosses line string. Direct line position location is high system center. Direct communications crosses line down lines, high center interference and travel calculations. 3 lines at high center, right? So we go into 1 in position of 2 in position of 3, and add 1 bracket line calculation setting comes into 4 of center line connection. Okay. Now we got to see the waving line center. We got a bracket location setting and direct signal. We open up the position location to all levels. That becomes a solar generation string in 1 center line calculation setting and 1 provision of set locations. Okay. Now, in that panel line interference comes in a flux capacitor. Now, that changes line calculation setting, put it into line calculations to its diamond core, set location of travel. Position of travel lines. Now, in that direct applications comes in this line communications. Very complicated stuff. Done by equation. Okay? Very complicated stuff. So, in line calculation setting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 division lines at box line rotations in position of travel lines, changing communication to its setting, repositioning its set position location of travel lines in box line condition. Okay, very complicated stuff. Through a solar sail, a set position of operation. Measure streams in flux capacitor, position of travel. Directing communication lines alpha, delta, theta, okay, beta, and omega. At the bottom, it's all set up. And omega disappeared. omega, right? Standard calculations of waves, standard communication of delta, standard communication of theta, standard communication of beta, standard communication of omega. Now it's all set up. See? Amazing, isn't it? Look at that. Look how powerful that is. What we just created locations of in set position operation. How to set these things up in all set locations. All right, so waiting on signal for that line positions. Now we got the waveline centers. Now we change the T receptors. Box position locations, box position locations, box position location in 3 settings. Okay? Box position locations in 3 settings. Box position locations in 3 settings. Okay? Now, in communications, come in this lines. Okay? This communications comes in this line. All right? So it's understanding how to use your data cubes, because your electrical line hub calculation is going to higher line position of travel lines in 3-line communication. Okay? Saying line, outline, and rotation interference puts position location of 2 atoms in set location of travel. Calculation lines of 3-line rotation surface puts a Fibonacci line swirl that protects the system location all lines to a seed pod communication of a vessel to a capsule calculation. That my question. All right. Okay, that's going to travel setting. So mechanism of highest location travel lines is really about all of understanding how to get in a correlation setting to your stargates, your star panels, and your star maps. Okay, so it's really understand how to balance these things out, guys, more than ever. Okay, because you got to get your zeros, you got to get your balance, and you got to get your atmosphere line positions of location. Right. This indicates high center interference when it comes into E equals MC square location. Okay. Compute system line travels its line set location of the box system locations, triangulations into your pyramid line setting. Okay. Now this is the bottom signal in center location, so pi. Okay. All right. So it's all about understanding the angle points and how you go from E equals lines of mass to calculation of a square. Now it calculates its pi, the locations it's setting to 3 travel locations, puts position of center lines at 3 lines of indication of its position. All right. So you always work on 3, you always work on 4, and 7 locations. 4, 3, and 7. Now 7 lines in communication setting puts track location all levels into a pyramid line stream. Communication lines of 4 and position location of 5. Right? 5 into 6, 6 into 7, 7 to 8, 8 and 9, 9 and 10, 10 and 11, 11 and 12. That's that position operation. Right? So comes in line calculation setting into a hover of communication. Right, it's a solar disk. Okay, solar disk, the ground lines, sets position location center in center line rotation. Okay, now directed communication, triangulation, reset programs, 3 waving patterns, and line interference. Now in that direct locations, we put in the circle lines of E equals MC square, calculation all levels, mass and calculation high center interference into position location in 72 line streams in set location of stargates, and star maps, and star division locations of balance correlation. Okay, that my equation. That's it, we're done. So how's everybody doing so far? Know exactly how these things up are in provision. Sector calculations and everything through spectrum lights. Very complicated stuff, right? Through formula. But I really want you to understand how this all works in position location of travel settings. How you set these things up. Okay. I'm ready to recharge. Class just gets crazy and crazier, doesn't it? But it's a beautiful thing how you guys are coming back into your memory line stream locations. But now you understand that you are no longer a reflection of your self-provision. You actually live inside the mirror of set locations, which is the future of now. Okay? All right, that's it. We're in 72 stargates of heaven in line interference. It's at position of track lines, weighted on signal to 144. See you soon. Adios. Do-do-do-do-do.